So I think my life, and maybe yours as well, is marked by my stories. I think they stick with you better. The lessons, when you share the story, stick better to other people as well. Some stories have smells, like the one Mike was talking about. This story has a flavor. It took place when I was standing in the middle of my life, helping my dad plant Christmas trees. It was a beautiful fall day. The kind of day that the work drives the chill away and the direct sun makes you want to shave, take your jacket off. Now, beautiful fall days, we don't get a lot of them. And you think long and hard about how you'll spend that beautiful weekend. But there I was, on a Saturday I won't forget. My folks have a small hobby farm about 4.5 hours from here. 20 acres full of the stuff that suburban people drive to get pumpkins and tomatoes and apples and Christmas trees. And they were still there. That fresh air and hard work that was perfect for teaching kids about work, responsibility, the thing that they did for 40 years, where they were still there, and it had become a burden that they could not or would not give up. Mom has just come out with lunch. She smiles at me. "Your hair is so gray." Thanks, Mom. Now, lunch is a farm term that means a meal that is brought out to the workers when they're working. That's different than when you go inside and eat the lunch. There's different lunches. In this particular case, the lunch that she is bringing out is a plate of apple pie bars and a thermos of coffee. She sets a plate in front of me and smiles. "Your hair is so gray." My mom has Alzheimer's. It was stage 1 at the time. No one wants to put a time frame on Alzheimer's. But clearly, no one sees that more than my dad. Forget this tangent. I just need to talk for a little bit about these apple pie bars. Now, apple pie bars, my mom is a fabulous cook. You make them in a rectangular pan, and my mom would render the lard. We had hogs. She'd render the lard, and she'd make that crust, and then the hands just almost magically would take a peck of apples from our apple trees and cut those and peel them. And then we had bees. She'd drizzle honey, and then sprinkle with cinnamon. All that muscle memory, the hands didn't need to bind anymore. And she would put the crust on top. And then, almost like a portable version of apple pie, she would just drizzle just a little bit of glaze across the top. Just enough that after you had them, you had to wipe your hands on the cool fall grass. I was tired. My back was sore. I wanted to take a nap. My dad says, "We gotta go." Oh, I'm sure there's more progressive ways than plant Christmas trees in some of these larger farms. Ours was a small outfit, and this is the calculus that we would use. We would have to plant 15 Christmas trees to get one to survive the deer and the drought and the hail. 15 years before somebody would come and cut it off and then bring it to their house for Christmas. We sold 80 Christmas trees a year. This means that every single year we would have to plant 1,200 Christmas trees. And my job was to use the tree spade. It looks a little bit like this. This is actually an ice chopper, but you recognize that if it was a tree spade, it would have a T-handle, be a little bit heavier, like a wedge. My dad used to have this job. Now he has the 5-gallon bucket full of little pencil-sized Christmas trees. So I wade through the grass with him, looking for little stakes among the tall grass. A painted stake is where a dead tree is. You part the grass aside, and there is a little twig of a tree that probably died just a couple of weeks after we planted it last year. With a sigh, I knock it away, step on top, sink that wedge all the way down till it forms a slot. Then I pull it up, and my dad, painfully on his hands and knees, takes 2 little pencil-sized trees and sticks them in either side of the slot. And I put another slot next to it, and I lean the sod over till the tree is planted. And I put another slot in the ground, and then Dad puts a painted stake into that slot so we can find the dead tree next year. It is so depressing. The field is full of these tiny dead trees. But also amongst them, there are trees that are 6 and 10 feet tall. Occasionally, Dad will find where 2 trees have actually survived. Now, you plant 2 trees in the slot to decrease the odds to half of ridiculous to just preposterous, right? Well, 2 trees will be alive the next year. Dad will look at them. Well, they're too close together now. Yep. So, with a shake of his head and a sigh, clips one off. Oh well. Dad had his hip replaced 2 years ago. Both his knees are shot. He has neuropathy. He can't feel his feet. The man I remember with the 4-foot stride now shuffles painfully from place to place. He needs that 5-gallon bucket to stand. And I'm watching him, wondering, why are we doing this? I mean, they've changed the tax structure in this little town. Used to be you could write off a certain amount for agriculture. They took that away. So the trees no longer provide any sort of financial benefit whatsoever. And you won't be able to harvest them for 15 years. And my mom has Alzheimer's. Why is he doing this? Is he stubborn? Yes, he is. Refusing to change because he doesn't have to yet. Is he afraid? Yeah. 44 years they lived on that farm. To move, to face all of that change. Better to just live today than have to think about tomorrow. But there's positive emotions too. There's optimism. Yes, there were dead trees, but there were trees that were alive. To plant a tree is to believe that you can make something that may even outlive yourself. To prove that maybe you did something with your life. That's why I think planting trees in the farm have, of all the chores we did, the most satisfaction. But I also think it was wisdom. Those apple pie bars, they help me remember that. All things come to pass. And when they're gone, they're gone. The bad and the good. My rush to leave that farm in the adolescence meant I left those apple pie bars behind as well. Those delicious treats that I'd completely forgotten about. I did not know then that that would be the last time I'd work next to my dad on that glorious fall afternoon. As I look back to that memory of standing in the middle of my life, I see that memory as a flavor. It's the bitter-sweet flavor of a home place gone. It's a poignant flavor of my mother's smile. And it's the delicious, sweet flavor of those apple pie bars. Oh, to have just one more. Thank you for coming tonight.